Are you aware of the different kinds of buyers that you'll encounter in the real estate market? I'm Lou Gordon with Century 21 Revolution in Cambridge, and today I want to talk about the two camps of buyers and the different ways that they are purchasing these deals. So, number one, you've got two main camps of buyers. You've got investors and you've got end users. The investor is buying the home to make money on it, and the end user is buying it to live in the property. In these two camps, you're also going to encounter people who are paying with cash and people who are financing. They're getting a loan from a bank or a private lender. And depending on what kind of buyer it is and what kind of funds they're using, it'll affect the sorts of offers that they're going to be putting in. So, an investor with cash will generally pay the least amount of money for a property, but will offer the most favorable terms. They're not going to generally have inspection contingencies. They're not going to have a financing contingency. They'll kind of close when you want to close. They'll take the property in as is condition. That this is the easiest deal that you can have, but will generally net you the least amount of money. On the other end of the spectrum, you've got the end user who's financing, and generally that person will give you the most amount of money for a property, but will often have the least favorable terms. You'll usually see inspection contingencies, financing contingencies. The timeline is going to be a little bit more rigid because they've got to operate with the bank. And so for a seller, you've got to decide what's most and least important to you. And to give you a good example, we recently won a bid with a buyer who was financing and he was an end user. And we were up against a cash offer. And the seller really had to consider, did they want to go with us and get more money, but have the risk that, God forbid, financing should fall through a month into the deal and then they have to go back to market? Or did they want to leave $10,000 or $15,000 on the table, go with the cash buyer, and have the easier closing? And ultimately, in this case, they decided they wanted the more money. We were a pretty safe finance deal, and they decided to go with us. But we've seen it go either way. There are plenty of sellers that'll leave that 10 or 20,000 on the table in a bidding war to go with the cash buyer and have the sure thing. If you have questions about any of this, or if you'd like to plan for how you can be the most successful in the market, please feel free to reach out. I'd love to have a consultation with you and see how we can put our best in class service to work for you. I look forward to talking to you soon.